Welcome back to another arcade fix. Today we're going to be revisiting the Skee Ball Super Shot. And I discovered some lost footage that I shot back in 2013 where we had a problem with the Skee Ball here. And I never really turned that into an arcade fix video. I was going to, but just never, for some reason, never did. It was back in the early days when I first started videos, so it was recorded on the old SD camera, so it's low definition. But anyway, little brief intro here. Is anybody that's ever played a Super Shot, Skee Ball, basketball type game, it has a motor that controls the basketball goal, which brings the basketball goal towards the person and back. And according to which game you choose between classic, continuous, pushback, or random, the motor does different things. Sometimes, like on classic, it'll bring it all the way forward, and after a certain amount of time, then it'll back up for a far away shot. And then the random is just random, goes forward and backwards the whole game, changing the position of the basketball goal. So anyway, had a problem with the motor stopped working, so that the goal wouldn't move. And so anyway, let me get down here, inside here, and I'll show you what the problem was. Okay, well, here's the inside of the Super Shot. You have your control board, logic board, and you have piggybacked on top of it this little board right here with the bridge rectifier. That's the motor control board. And of course we have the power supply right here, and of course here's the coin bucket along with the coin counters and the buttons to change the settings within the game menu. Okay, well, the motor that is used to move the goal is a geared motor. It runs on about, I'm not exactly sure, I think it's somewhere between 70 and 90 volts DC. And this board right here controls it. It has two relays. I'm assuming one relay is for the motor to turn in one direction, which brings the goal forward, and then the other one will kick in and move the goal away from you. And it has a fuse right here, and that fuse was blown. So luckily, a lot of times to try to diagnose the problem, could have been a short in the motor, could have been a short in the wires going to the motor. There's a lot of things that it could be, but you have to try to figure out what it is. And the easiest way was to, since this fuse was blowing on the motor control board, I went ahead and took the one off of the game right next to it and put it in on this main board and fired it up, and sure enough the game came to life and was working fine. So that way I knew the motor controller was bad. At that time the game was under warranty, so they sent us a new board. And the video you're about to see back from 2013 is showing how to replace this board and get the game back up and running. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, and we hope to soon come back with some more HD video and some more arcade fixes. Okay, today we're back in the arcade. We're working on the Super Shot. This has been down for a little over a month now because the motor driver board right there went bad, and we had to, it was under warranty, so they sent us one, but there's a little mix-up. I kept asking whether or not it had came, and evidently they didn't realize this was the part I was looking for. So it'd been here almost a month, but finally got it. Here it is, and it has the feet on it, so we're going to go ahead and just unscrew these feet because we don't need them, because all we have to do is take the screws out the board. The feet are already on the other main board behind it, and all we have to do is plug it in and put the 4 screws back in. So we'll go ahead and shut it down and take the old one off and do a swap out, and that should fix the problem. Well, we already had the board unplugged because I suspect the bridge rectifier right here went bad. I had swapped this out with one in the working game, and the game worked fine. So I know this is the only problem. So all we have to do is take these screws loose. And put the new board in place. The board is held in with 3 Phillips screws on metal standoffs from the main board. Now I got all 4 screws out. It has one inline plug on the back side of the board here that plugs into the main board. So what we want to do is support the back board so we don't bend it no more than we have to, and just unplug it. And as you can see, it just unplugs right out here. So now all we have to do is take our new board and plug it in. Okay, now we're ready to install the new board. What we'll just have to do is make sure we line up these pins. So we'll have to line the pins up. Once we get the pins lined up, then we have to support the back of the board. Plug the plug in. Now we can go ahead and put our 4 screws back in. And we got one more. And now that we've got them all in, now we need to tighten them. Now that we've tightened them, now we have to plug the board back in. It has two plugs here. One right here gives it the 110 volt power. And of course it's keyed, so it only goes in one way here. And then we have the wire here, with plug here. It has 2 wires on it. This is the plug that goes to the motor that drives the backboard forward and backwards. And that's what this is the motor controller. It has a bridge rectifier that rectifies the 120, 115, 20 volts down to DC voltage. I'm not sure the actual voltage, but I believe it's in the 60 to 70 volt range for the motor. And it has two relays here, and the CPU board controls these relays. One kicks in to bring the motor in one direction to bring the board towards you. The other one kicks in to bring the board away from you. So it's basically just using these relays as a voltage reversal on the motor wires here to control the motor forward and backwards. And that's basically all it is. So now that we got it all hooked up, we'll be able to power it back up, and hopefully we won't hear the motor error message. And we're getting a maintenance required. And hopefully went ahead and loaded up. And it appears like it's going to be okay now, so we'll go ahead and coin it up and try it out and see what happens. Okay, well, we got it all back together and up and running, so let's go ahead and put a couple tokens in here, and let's do a classic right now. And we'll wait for the timer to count down before it starts the game. And when it starts, if it's working, the basketball goal should move towards our position. And there it goes. So it looks like, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Not very good. Got one. Well, as you can see, I'm not very good one-handed. I can't even hardly pick it up with one hand. But at least the game is fixed, and that's what we were going after. So we'll go ahead and do a little more testing on it just to make sure we got it. We'll go through the other modes and make sure that we've done the job. So till next time, this is another arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?